Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a fantasy action film, Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with the parents waking up the young siblings, Hansel and Gretel, before nightfall. The mother tells their father that he should take them outside. He brings a lantern along with his gun and leaves both Hansel and Gretel stranded in the woods, despite them crying out for their father to come back. Later, the two children cower in the middle of the forest, alone and lost, until they come across a house made of candy. They enter the house, and suddenly the candles inside are lit up to reveal a horrendous-looking witch. She imprisons them and forces them to eat candy. Gretel tries to escape, but she is hit in the head by the witch. She threatens to kill Gretel if Hansel will not eat the piece of candy that the witch is forcing them to eat. Before the witch can throw them into the burning oven, Gretel manages to escape from her bindings and attack the witch. The two of them successfully overpower the witch and kill her by throwing her into the oven. But they never saw their parents again. Years later, the people of the town are calling for a witch hunt. The brutal sheriff announces to the people that he finds this white witch guilty of treachery and colluding with demon spawn. He orders his men to drown the witch slowly. Suddenly, the mayor comes and calls for order, sparing the white witch's life. The brutal sheriff interrupts the mayor and calls for the burning of the witch, but luckily, the now adult Hansel and Gretel arrive to stop him. Hansel checks the white witch and declares her to be clean of witchcraft. They both explain to the townsfolk that they are witch hunters for hire, sought by the mayor to deal with the problem of the town's children disappearing. The people are displeased by this, but the mayor orders the crowd to disperse. The sheriff complains to the mayor about Hansel and Gretel's hiring and berates them. Gretel buttheads the sheriff, and they get into a standoff, flexing their muscles. The mayor tells them to stop and leads Hansel and Gretel to a mysterious cottage in the North Forest. Gretel enters the cottage and attacks the witch inside. The witch fights back and gets into a hide-and-seek chase with Hansel. The witch does her best to fend off both witch hunters with her magic, but she is outsmarted. They then hang her from a tree and finish her off. Back in the mayor's house, they retell the events from earlier and come to the conclusion that the witch in the cottage is a dead end when it comes to finding the lost children. They hand the mayor a scroll found inside the cottage, which tells of a blood moon coming in 3 days. It's revealed that witch activity has been increasing these past weeks, and Hansel and Gretel know that it's not a coincidence why it's so close to the blood moon. Hansel gives himself a shot of insulin to stave off the magic-induced form of diabetes he got when they were imprisoned by the witch. That evening, the sheriff hires a group of mercenaries to find the missing children and promises to pay them for each child delivered safely back to town. He also tells them to accomplish this task before Hansel and Gretel do. The mercenaries set up camp in the middle of the forest. Suddenly, the evil Grand Witch appears before them. They state that they are here to find the missing children. The Grand Witch tells them that there are no children to be found here and kills the mercenaries. On the other side, Hansel and Gretel eat dinner at the local tavern and discuss the current standing of the investigation. A young fanboy approaches them and introduces himself to them. He asks them for their signature and asks them a few questions. A surviving mercenary makes his way into the tavern and says that he has a message for everyone in town. Before he says anything, he blows up and his shit-smelly entrails scatter around the tavern. The Grand Witch returns to her coven. Inside, the children from the town are being kept prisoners, with a fearsome troll guarding their cells. The witches take out a young boy and kill him. They use his blood to test out the effects of a potion to make witches invincible, but the potion's effect only lasts for a few seconds. The evil Grand Witch promises the other witches that she knows of a way to make the potion last forever. During her slumber, Gretel dreams about the night they were abandoned by their parents, specifically their mother. She tries to tell Hansel about her dream, but he ignores her, telling her that it is a subject that he would rather not talk about. In the morning, Hansel buys some clothes in the market, where he meets the White Witch from yesterday. They discuss the morality of witch hunting, and Hansel tells the White Witch that a good witch is a dead witch. He asks her to hold the things he bought and gives himself another shot of insulin. He tells her why he needs to take a shot of insulin every few hours, and she reveals that she may know something to cure his condition. He waves her off and says goodbye. Later, one of the witches from the coven falls for a trap set by Hansel and Gretel. They fight the witch using their weapons and knowledge of witch hunting at their disposal. The witch fights back ferociously and tries to fly her heavy ass off. Hansel and Gretel manage to pin her down and capture her. In the evening, the sheriff complains to the mayor and asks what a live witch was doing in his office. The mayor tells him that they need to interrogate the witch to find out where the missing children are. The witch spasms in the other room. Hansel and Gretel try to figure out what's happening. Unbeknownst to them, the witch is calling for the other witches from the coven. Hansel tries to beat information out of her, but soon realizes that nothing they do will get the witch to talk. Gretel figures out that they need 12 children in total, and the last child the witches need is a girl born in the month of April. Witches prepare to attack from the sky. Hansel finds out the name of the girl and asks the sheriff to help him find the girl. Suddenly, a fire starts in town, which sends everyone into a panic. The witches find the girl first and order a troll to take her back to the coven. Gretel tries to fight the evil Grand Witch, but is surprised at her power. Meanwhile, Hansel is injured horribly by a witch, but still manages to beat her. The evil Grand Witch chokes Gretel and holds her in the air, telling her that she won't kill her yet because there is still something that she needs for her. She throws Gretel to the ground, incapacitating her. After the attack, the mayor tries to reassure the people, but the sheriff passes the blame onto Hansel and Gretel as well as the mayor. The people rally behind the sheriff. Still, the mayor tries to calm them down, but the sheriff puts a bullet into the mayor's neck and finishes him off. Later, the young fanboy nurses Gretel back to health. Gretel awakens and asks what happened. He tells her that a girl was taken last night and many people died because of the fires. He reveals that Hansel was last seen fighting a witch and hasn't resurfaced. He then asks Gretel if the story about their parents leaving them is true. Gretel tells him that the story is indeed true, but the reason behind it still remains a mystery to them. The young fanboy serves Gretel some porridge for breakfast and asks about the witch that attacked last night. Gretel reveals that the witch is actually a grand witch that's many times stronger than a regular witch. She then notices a piece of newspaper, which tells the story of a woman who was accused of being a witch and without trial and burnt at the stake. Gretel gets a feeling that their mother has something in relation to this, and she starts her search for Hansel. Hansel passes out from the fight with the witch and wakes up hanging upside down from a tree. The White Witch finds him and offers to help him down the tree, but he refuses and falls down. Gretel searches for Hansel in the wounds and runs into an ambush set up by the brutal sheriff's men. She fights them off with her crossbow, but is overpowered by their numbers. They subdue her and knock her unconscious. Meanwhile, the White Witch cleans Hansel's wounds. She tells Hansel to bathe in the pond and claims that the water contains healing properties, which would help his wounds heal faster. Hansel reluctantly agrees and joins the White Witch in the pond. The brutal sheriff taunts Gretel, but she manages to bite his nose, causing it to bleed out. From the distance, a troll watches the sheriff and his men beat down Gretel in her weakened state. Hansel recalls the time when he fought a serpent witch inside a pond, just like the one they are bathing in. The White Witch and Hansel proceed to kiss passionately. Gretel calls the sheriff and his men pathetic. They beat her once more, but the troll suddenly comes out of his hiding and kills the brutal sheriff and his men. It takes her unconscious body to a nearby waterfall and treats her wounds. The troll offers her water. She hesitates at first, but ends up drinking the water. She asks the troll why it saved her, but the troll walks away from her, but not before telling her its name. In the evening, Hansel finds an abandoned house and heads inside to look for his sister. Suddenly, he's attacked by something and falls through the floor. It turns out it is Gretel, and the two of them reunite. They light a candle and realize that the house they're in is actually their childhood home. Gretel tries to tell Hansel that their mother could be a witch because of their immunity to the magic witches cast. But suddenly, the evil Grand Witch appears. She reveals that their mother was a Grand White Witch who fell in love with their father, who was a farmer. It's then revealed that their mother's heart was supposed to be the final main ingredient to the potion that would make witches invincible. Their mother hid her children when the townsfolk accused her of being a witch, and it turns out their parents sent them into the forest to save them from persecution. Both of their parents died burning at the stake. The witch then says that the final ingredient is Gretel's heart. Hansel tries to defend his sister, but he is knocked unconscious and is taken away by the evil Grand Witches. Hansel wakes up to find the White Witch treating his wounds again. She reveals that she actually is a White Witch and claims that there are good witches in the world too. Hansel ignores this and focuses on finding his sister and stopping the witches from using her heart. The White Witch reveals that she knows where the witches are gathering for the ritual and tells Hansel that she also knows a way to defeat all the witches in the ritual. She finds a book with the knowledge of spells that are capable of penetrating magical wards set up by witches. He asks the White Witch to bless his weapons and prepares for the fight ahead. The young fanboy meets up with them and joins the fight as well. Back in the coven, the troll from earlier wakes Gretel. She asks for the troll's help, but one of the witches scolds the troll. In the distance, Hansel, the White Witch, and the young fanboy set up traps to use later. He gives the fanboy a weapon and tells him to stay away from the fighting to increase his chances of survival. During the ritual, the blood moon arises, giving power to the witches. They prepare to kill Gretel, but Hansel interrupts and starts the fight. He signals the White Witch to attack, using the mounted gun he stationed above the ritual area. The shots from the gun kill several witches. The fighting intensifies, and Hansel finds the place where the children are locked up, and fights several witches to get there. The troll frees Gretel, which attracts the attention of the evil Grand Witch. She flings the troll, and Gretel gets into a fight with her. She's overpowered by the Grand Evil Witch, but once the sun starts rising, the evil Grand Witch escapes as fast as she can. The traps they set up earlier catch the fleeing witches off guard and kill a few of them. The Grand Witch manages to dodge the traps, but the young fanboy manages to shoot her down. Hansel, the White Witch, and the fanboy make their way to the evil Grand Witch, but find the house made of candy. The witch knocks the White Witch unconscious and threatens to kill the fanboy. Hansel tries to fight back, but is knocked down. The Grand Witch stabs the White Witch, and she bleeds to death. Hansel enters the house and fights the witch. Gretel joins as well, and they manage to overpower the witch. They subdue her and cut off her head. The movie ends with Hansel and Gretel fulfilling their contract and burning the evil Grand Witch. The children return to the town safe, and the witch hunters are given their reward. Hansel and Gretel continue their witch hunting in other places, along with the young fanboy. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.